Before the war had begun, in an age before anything, there was only the swirling cold abyss ruled by monolithic beings known as the vassals. Beings who commanded nature and time just as they did the first of life. It was a time where the world and its inhabitants were malleable as clay forever churning, a melting pot of chaos where the living existed only to give worship to the formless gods whom the vassals served. Enduring countless ages of compassionless control, the subjects of the vassals would tire of the rule imposed upon them, and in seeking to divest themselves of their shackles, the formless subjects would begin a great pilgrimage to discover what their toil was truly in service of. And as they wandered the swirling black tides, they would find only darkness. As they gazed past the edge of the night and walked its every corner, they would find nothing. There was no fruit to their labor, and they could not find the gates of the heavens they worshipped. And so with each passing eon, they grew angrier, and as their rage bubbled with each passing step, they gradually took the form of humankind, and their despair gave way to conviction. After aeons more wandering, they would return from the long pilgrimage, having woven a blade from the burning spirits of those with faith in their mission, a weapon resistant to the control of the abyss and its endless night. This sin would herald the beginning of the war, as humanity would strike down the first vassal without a fight, having been underestimated. Its divine spirit would shatter, and from its womb mankind would weave the realm of man, a garden of abundance, a place of light, the very place they sought to find. First they would sculpt the fields and mountains from the remains of the vassal, then they would raise the forests from the bark of an old tree. After that they vowed to fill every corner with something beautiful. They made flowers and plants, and then from their shared faith came the golden light of the first morning to halt the night's tide. But that would only be the beginning. Challenging the heavens would shatter the world they had so fought for. Over the many ages steeped in battle, empires would fall, the land and sky would burn, the kings of men and vassal gods would join the graves of countless dead, as their deeds were buried by an endless tide of ruin and bloodshed. The war would prove itself so vast and horrible that its embers still burn and its ash is yet trodden by warriors. So tremendous its cruelty that it had begun to decay the foundations that hold the world together, as although the vassals were slain, one by one their shattered spirits would rise once more in a bid to bring the realm of man back to heel, tearing at the world in their anger, becoming known as the draum. The draum begin as formless shards of the vassal spirits made up of black tears, the same substance used in magic, retaining fractured memories and a will that go out seeking to obtain a new body. This can be anything from the flesh of the living or dead, inanimate vessels, to sometimes even bodies made for them by abyssal worshippers. Upon latching onto the vessel, they begin the process of transforming the body. It starts with the formation of a web of otherworldly organs till it seeps to the outside of the host, weaving its flesh to serve their needs while making a mockery of the world and its inhabitants, often taking the form of humans as a manner of manipulation. The strength of their will and their intelligence additionally plays a large factor. Some draum are born of such anger that it clouds their thinking as they become animalistic monsters, lashing out at anything and anyone, leading to their body being crude and malformed. While those who have more measure over their will are able to reflect more elegance and precision, to a point where some say the oldest draum are not too far off from the vassals themselves. However true that may be is uncertain. To those who believe in the rule of mankind, the draum are ruthless monsters and undeniable proof of the hatred the abyss is possessed of. Ever since the First Age, they have led the bloody wars as leaders, soldiers, torturers, and monstrous devils, whispering lies and deceit into the ears of those lacking in faith. They are the spawn of the void, its hateful hands, a fractured divinity repeatedly reforming itself to destroy everything and everyone who do not wish to serve the heavens, which they cannot even bear witness to with their own eyes. Meanwhile, to those who yet worship the Abyss, the draum are the rightful heirs of the Veiled Ones, attempting to regain control of the beings who slew them and burnt the world down to its core, making what used to be an eternally peaceful night into a realm of violence and anguish. They see mercy in the abyssal heavens, and oftentimes joy in the sight of the draum. Just as the champions and saints of man arise from the ruins, particularly powerful draum known as the archdrown will emerge when granted great reverence, serving as unifying forces for the lesser draum and the many humans who still worship the abyssal gods beyond the veil. Each archdrown has differing decrees by which they abide, and as such have their own way of waging war against those they deem heretical. Some fulfill their purpose as the countless battlefield deities, worshipped by the desperate engulfed in war, before being washed away by a new tide of gods and folklore. Some produce weapons for all sides, feasting upon the remains of those who fall. Some raise armies of those who seek to usher in a new age. Some attract scholars with promises of boundless knowledge. Some offer a chance at divine enlightenment, and some simply offer reprieve from the endless violence and sickness. Due to these differences and their borderline feral hunger for devotion, archdrown frequently fight amongst each other, but despite that many are willing to follow in their footsteps, as many draumic dominions taint the face of the realm with countless dying to spread their influence. The dominions of the draum are often formed upon the bones of ancient empires, as they conquer territories long since abandoned or consumed by the battlefield. Just as they do with their bodies, they will infest the lands and the ruins, corrupting them with the stench of the void as they and their followers take on the characteristics of the archdrown worshipped there. The lands of Archdrown run red, becoming infested with brambles and thorns as its people rend their own flesh, hoping to shed their human form and transcend the sins of their ancestors. The lands of Thalbark crack and break as any gold or flame entering their territory melts and flickers out, losing its color, for its knights lament their beguiled lords who betrayed mankind. The lands of Graveswick melt into a black swamp of decay, as its countless graveyards are stalked by grave robbers and those who have nowhere else to call home. The wretched of Thanemore see in the heavens a great hunger which they seek to satiate. The abyssal gardens become so infested by the touch of the Veiled Ones that no warmth can persist, and the eyes of the faithful grow blind as their minds shatter, while the lands where no faith subsides at all simply crumble to dust with none to bear witness. It seems that throughout the ages no one is ready to lay down their arms despite the tremendous cost. Humanity, the children of Iva, will never give up their faith in an age ruled by mankind and their mourning, while the abyssal heavens and their armies seem most certain of eventual victory, grinding the very earth we stand upon down to the root. Perhaps one day we will once more stand under the forlorn branches of eternal change, or perhaps we will cease to be as ambition grows out of control and the tongues of flame consume the earth and all that is beyond it. At long last I'm done with this wretched video. I've been working on this video on and off as I've been figuring out what I want the draum to be. I'm very happy with them in their current state, but just as with everything from the reintroduction video, I will be iterating upon the world until I feel like it's perfectly to my liking. It's important to note that the creation myth at the start of the video is not absolute. Although it is for the most part the commonly accepted truth in the world, most religions have some differing views on parts of it, which I'm eager to explore in the future. It's heavily inspired by my favorite games of all time, the Soul series, among things like Norse and other real-world mythologies. Although I still want to explore some of the important topics in the world like pilgrims and relic technology in further detail, for the time being I think I want to delve into some smaller videos exploring things like military units and specific draum, as the pace at which I write scripts and stuff is rather slow and requires a lot of thinking, and I'd like to upload more than 2 videos a year, although let's be honest, it'll probably still take that long. Now, you've been here long enough. Get out of here. Go on. Leave me to my evil scheming.